news and entertainment.
Good evening and welcome to Mega News at 6. We are coming to you live on satellite and digital platforms and also streaming live on Facebook and YouTube via MBN 360. I am Diana Mamli Sakite. Here are the major headlines. Gender Minister engages amputees, pledges stronger inclusion policies in Ghana. In business, Ghana pushes value addition as Global Share Alliance marks 15 years. In international news, Robert Mugabe's son to be deported from South Africa over firearms offense. These and many more stories coming up shortly. President John Dramani Mahama has reaffirmed government's commitment to safeguarding vulnerable coastal communities following his visit to areas affected by recent tidal waves in Fevume and the Blekusu Phase 2 Sea Defense Project.
Speaking on Wednesday, 29th April, during an inspection tour of the affected communities, Mr. Mahama said the visit was prompted by reports of the sea-breaching sections of the coastline causing concern among residents and local authorities. He explained that the affected areas fall within the scope of the World Bank-supported West Africa Coastal Areas Project, a major regional initiative aimed at addressing coastal erosion and flooding. The project, valued at approximately $150 million, is expected to cover extensive portions of Ghana's eastern coastline, including Ketu South and parts of Angloga. Mr. Mahama highlighted a series of past and ongoing coastal defense interventions, noting that successive governments have contributed to mitigating the perennial threat posed by tidal waves. He referenced earlier projects such as the Akpile-Wochoko Sea Defense undertaken during his presidency, as well as the historic Keta Sea Defense Project initiated under the administration of Jerry John Rawlings. He further pointed to the Blekusu Phase 1 project already completed, with Phase 2 currently under construction, as part of broader efforts to shield coastal settlements from encroaching seas. According to Mr. Mahama, the WACA project will incorporate a combination of engineering and environmental measures.
Meanwhile, the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Honorable Dr. Agnes Namu-Mulati, has reiterated the government's dedication to disability inclusion after engaging with amputees during an amputee awareness and visibility walk organized by Smile of Hope in Accra.
The event formed part of the activities undertaken to mark Limb Loss and Difference Awareness Month. It brought together amputees, advocates and supporters to shed light on their experiences, endurance and continuous challenges by people living with limb loss and limb difference across the country. During the event, the participants seized the opportunity to voice out their concerns regarding challenges facing their healthcare, social protection, and economic inclusion that affect them. The program also provided a platform for engagement between policymakers and the amputee community. As part of the engagement, Smiles of Hope presented a petition and policy proposals to the minister, calling for prompt and corresponding measures to be put in place to advance the well-being and inclusion of amputees in Ghana. The Minister for Gender, Agnes Namo-Moulaty, acknowledged the issues they raised, which were also outlined in the petition. She described them as reflections of the daily realities faced by many people working to structure their lives after amputation. She emphasized that disability inclusion must not be limited to policy deliberations, but rather they should translate into real-world support systems that reinstate dignity, independence, and equal chance for all persons with disabilities. She stated that the partnership between the government agencies, civil society organizations, and development partners is very crucial in helping to resolve the many challenges faced by persons living with disabilities. The engagement, she stated, is part of a broader national effort to enhance inclusivity and ensure that no section of the population feels neglected. For the amputees, the presence and willingness of the minister gives them hope with a view of getting their issues resolved. She opined that adequate policies that will improve their living conditions and enhance inclusivity will be implemented to help resolve the challenges they face.
Away from that, the Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference has strongly defended the right of religious leaders to speak on national issues such as illegal mining, Galamsey, insisting that the Church has both a moral responsibility and divine mandate to address matters affecting society and the common good.
In a statement signed by the President of the Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference and Bishop of Sunyani, Most Reverend Matthew Kwesi Gyamfi, the conference responded to recent public comments directed to Apostle Eric Nyamiche, chairman of the Church of Pentecost. The statement follows remarks reportedly made by Dr. Mary Ewusi, cautioning Apostle Nyamiche that if he continued speaking on matters such as illegal mining, commonly referred to as Galamsey, he should be ready to be treated as a politician. According to the Catholic bishops, the comments generated significant public discussion and raised important questions about the role of religious institutions in national discourse. The bishops stressed that the Church cannot remain silent when confronted with moral and social challenges affecting the nation. Citing biblical teachings, the conference explained that Christians are called to influence society positively by standing for truth, justice, and the protection of human dignity. According to the statement, speaking against social injustice or environmental destruction should not be interpreted as partisan political activity. This is not partisan politics. It is a moral responsibility rooted in the gospel, the conference stressed. The Catholic bishops acknowledged that democratic societies require a distinction between political authority and religious leadership, but maintained that this distinction should not silence ethical or moral voices.
In other news, the Minister for Works, Housing and Water Resources, Honorable Kenneth Gilbert Ejay, has conducted a comprehensive inspection of major storm drains projects in flood-prone areas of Accra.
He assessed the progress of engineering works aimed at mitigating the city's perennial drainage challenges during heavy downpours. Honorable Ken inspected ongoing flood control works across key parts of Accra earlier today. The progress was visible. The outlook was encouraging. At Dansoman Otojo, construction of a 1-kilometer earth drain is underway. The project is designed to channel stormwater away from surrounding communities. These include Tabora, Anya, Soutum, Santa Maria, Awushi, and parts of Malam. The drainage system will direct water straight into the ocean. He monitored the construction sites to ensure contractors maintain the required pace ahead of the peak rainy season. Honorable Ejay expressed satisfaction with the technical precision observed at selected sites where hydroengineering standards have met national requirements. During the tour, The minister observed several instances of individuals using refuse to fill critical waterways for unauthorized construction. He identified these actions as a primary cause of severe flooding in surrounding communities. According to him, the ministry has coordinated with local authorities to identify structures obstructing the natural flow of water. Honorable Ejay stated that the government is determined to remove all illegal pillars and foundations within designated zones. Legislative instruments have supported planned enforcement actions against developers who flout building regulations. The minister explained that the state intends to recover demolition costs from owners of illegal properties.
We want to build here, and then the next time they will say that government is not doing anything about flooding. But who is actually causing it? Government is doing its part. But if we also decide to keep building in waterways, then what else can government do? Anyway, we are going to come after those people building in the waterways. Very soon the rains is about to start. We won't allow what they are doing to bring flooding to the good people of Accra. So we will come after them for them to move all those structures that they are trying to put in place. And they are going to be penalized. And I also want to advise our local authorities, those that are giving the necessary permits to people for them to be doing putting these kind of pillars and putting up these structures, that we are going to fish them out and the law is going to deal with them.
Also, the Vice President of the Pediatric Society of Ghana, Dr. Emmanuel Opon, has called on the government to declare illegal mining, popularly known as Galamsey, a public health emergency to enable a coordinated national response.
Dr. Opon raised concerns about the growing health risks associated with environmental pollution caused by illegal mining activities, stressing that the absence of an official declaration could weaken efforts to mobilize resources and response systems. He questioned the effectiveness of national response mechanisms when public health threats are not formally recognized, noting that official declarations are critical for activating coordinated action among government institutions and stakeholders. Dr. Opon supported earlier calls by health professionals for Galamsey to be formally classified as a public health emergency, arguing that the scale and severity of its impact demand urgent and structured intervention. He also emphasized the importance of proactive, community-based interventions, including health screening exercises in mining-affected areas.
In other news, the national chairman of the National Democratic Congress, Johnson Esedun Ketia, has suspended his scheduled thank you tour of the Northeast region following heightened security concerns linked to a recent attack on a military convoy in Boko.
A senior member of the Regional Security Council, RegSec, confirmed by Joy News that the decision was taken after consultations over the deteriorating security situation, particularly after a violent incident in Bindiru, where unknown assailants reportedly attacked a military escort convoy. The cancellation affects the two-day tour, which was scheduled to begin on April 29 with visits to Yagaba, Walewale and Nalerigu, before continuing on April 30 to Bunkurugu, Yonyo and Cheriponi. According to the source, security agencies advised against proceeding with the visit as a precautionary measure to safeguard the NDC national chairman, party supporters, and the general public. The thank you tour forms part of Mr. Esedun Ketia's post-election outreach activities aimed at appreciating party supporters across the region for their commitment and contributions.
Let's take a breather for business news. Don't go away. Hi, welcome to Shiloh Guest House, where comfort meets warmth. Our serene environment and cozy rooms provides a pleasant stay. To book a room with us, call 055-5940-103 and 0241-972076. Locate us at Teshinungwa Estate, number 8 Coconut Street, directly behind A-Life Supermarket. Shiloh Guest House, where comfort meets warmth. Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman has called for stronger investment in value addition, sustainability, and regional collaboration in Africa's share industry as the Global Share Alliance marked its 15 years anniversary at the opening of the Share 2026 conference in Accra.
Addressing conference participants, the Vice President said the share sector remains a critical source of livelihoods for millions of people across Africa, particularly women engaged in share collection and processing. She noted that the Global Share Alliance has expanded significantly since its inauguration in 2011 by the then Vice President John Mahama, growing from 48 members to more than 900 members worldwide. The Vice President stressed that Africa must move beyond the export of raw share kernels and focus on processing and industrialization to capture more value from the industry. Professor Opoku-Agyeman also highlighted the environmental importance of share parklands, describing them as vital ecosystems that support biodiversity, improve soil fertility, and strengthen climate resilience across the SAB region. She further called for greater economic empowerment for women who dominate the share value chain.
Just as important is recognizing the central role of women in this sector. You didn't hear that one. Women dominate the value chain from kernel collection to primary processing, and their work supports families and communities across Ghana. But the women need to benefit more from the value. Addressing this imbalance is not only a matter of equity. It is essential to improving productivity, raising incomes, and ensuring the sector's long-term sustainability.
Still in business, Ghana's banking sector is regaining momentum, with total industry assets climbing to 465.4 billion Ghana cedis as of February 2026, according to the Bank of Ghana's March Monetary Policy Report.
The figures point to a sector on firmer ground, reflecting stronger balance sheets and improved positioning within the domestic market. Total assets grew by 21% year-on-year. Although slower than last year's pace, the growth signals a shift toward a more stable, sustainable expansion, driven largely by domestic asset accumulation and improving funding conditions. A standout trend in the report is the increasing dominance of domestic assets. These now account for 93.8% of total industry assets, up from 88% a year earlier. This highlights a stronger local focus by banks and reduced exposure by external shocks. Investment activity played a central role in the sector's growth. Total investments surged by 57.5% to 192.8 billion Ghana cedis. This was largely driven by a sharp increase in short-term instruments, which rose by 130.1%, reflecting improved money market yields and more active liquidity management by banks. Deposits continue to anchor the sector's funding base. They rose by 18% to 338.5 billion Ghana cedis, driven mainly by domestic inflows. This trend suggests growing public trust in the banking system as confidence steadily returns. The sector's capital position also strengthened significantly. Shareholders' funds increased by 44.1% to 60.6 billion Ghana cedis, supported by strong profitability and ongoing recapitalization efforts.
In sports, the Ghana Football Association has announced the timeline for 2026-2027 Premier League season.
The new campaign will commence over the weekend of September 4 to 7, 2026 and run on through to May 28 to 31, 2027, in line with the Football Association's approved 2026 and 2027 football calendar. As with the current format, league matches will primarily be played on weekends, while midweek slots will be reserved for only outstanding fixtures. Meanwhile, the Football Association also announced the start date for the 2026 and 27 Access Bank Division 1 League. The campaign will get underway over the weekend of September 18 to 21, 2026, with opening fixtures scheduled across all three zones. The season is expected to run through to May 24, 2027, spanning a total of 30 match weekends. In line with the league's structure, all matches will be played on weekends with no official midweek fixtures scheduled.
Up next is entertainment. Do stay with us.
MBN Jasuni from me Ejahima. Sauba MBN Jasua from 0245 88 2128. MBN Jasu come home na yendi eja at the right place.
Organizers have officially confirmed that the Ghana Comedy Awards 2026 will take place on Friday, August 1, 2026, generating significant excitement within Ghana's entertainment industry.
Creative Republic Limited, the team behind the popular awards scheme, made the announcement recently, positioning the event as a major celebration of Ghanaian comedy talent. This year's edition carries the theme Experience Comedy, which the organizers say is designed to offer audiences a more immersive and engaging exploration of the country's thriving comedy scene. The announcement has already sparked widespread anticipation among comedians, fans, and industry stakeholders. Many have begun counting down to what promises to be one of the biggest nights dedicated to recognizing stand-up performers, skit creators, comedy influencers, and other contributors who bring laughter and social commentary to Ghanaians daily. Speaking on the upcoming event, The Chief Executive Officer, Dennis Boatin of Creative Republic Limited, spoke about the aim of the awards ceremony. The Ghana Comedy Awards has steadily grown in stature. Its roots trace back to 2020 when it started as the Comedy and Poetry Awards.
Up next is international news.
Say about the heartbeat of entertainment and one the ultimate show with AJ Barker. Anne and paying for say Trini and Dawa, Yamonchain. Yana what the hottest trend, the GCJs. Exclusive interview with your favorite celebrity and NASA influencer. And you best say the asa I will show you so HINASI. Kaina will say if it is trending, we are talking about. If it is entertainment, we got you covered. And it's never every Friday exactly 4 p.m. The ultimate show with AJ Barker is always a vibe.
The Ultimate Show, this and every Friday at 4 p.m. only on MBN TV. MBN, the gospel, news and entertainment.
The youngest son of Zimbabwe's late former President Robert Mugabe is to be deported from South Africa immediately, a court in Johannesburg has ordered.
Bellarmine Mugabe pleaded guilty to pointing a firearm and illegally being in the country earlier this month after he was arrested following the shooting of a 23-year-old man at his home. 28-year-old has also been ordered to pay a fine of $36,000. His co-accused and cousin, Tobias Matonhoji, who pleaded guilty to attempted murder, illegal immigration, possession of ammunition, and defeating the ends of justice, was sentenced to 3 years in prison. Both men were arrested on 19 February when police were called to Mugabe's home in the upmarket Johannesburg suburb of Hyde Park. A man who worked at the premises was taken to hospital in a critical condition after he was shot. Prosecutors previously told the court that the shooting followed a row between the three men inside the property and that the victim was shot twice in the back outside as he tried to flee. The authorities have yet to find the gun. Mugabe was also previously charged with attempted murder, but after Motonoji pleaded guilty, the charge was dropped. The charge of pointing a gun relates to a separate and related incident, but Mugabe agreed to have the two cases heard together, the National Prosecuting Authority, NPA, told the BBC earlier this month.
That's all for Mega News at 6. Thank you for watching. Before we go, a recap of the major headlines. Gender Minister engages amputees, pledges stronger inclusion policies in Ghana. In business, Ghana pushes value addition as Global Share Alliance marks 15 years. In international news, Robert Mugabe's son to be deported from South Africa over firearms offense. For more news updates, stay connected with us on Facebook and YouTube at MBN 360. I am Diana Mamle Sakiti. Have a pleasant evening.